All right. Yeah. Glue.
Pass
Pass the glue.
Oh shit.
So anyway, we were on the topic of fucking uh, nuclear holocaust. So I asked a very simple question that sparked me to want to do this. Do you think we would band together if there was a nuclear holocaust?
The thing is, the thing about that though, it's like there's like no promise to that. Like, I mean, try to get to you, but I mean, it's like
So I guess what exactly would you do in a nuclear holocaust situation? I know what I would do. The first thing I would do is a lot of these motherfuckers, and I have a family, so I can speak on I can speak on it. It's not like I'm a guy without a family and you don't understand. No, I do understand. A lot of these motherfuckers talk about going and saving their family first, but there's no fucking point if I'm already dead or if I'm not taking care of myself to not die. So the first thing I would do is make sure I stay alive, and hopefully my family does the same to make sure they keep themselves safe. But I would go after these survivalist motherfuckers. A lot of them with all the food and everything else. That's where I'd be going to get food, because I'm eventually going to get to you. I don't have anything else to do except try and survive. So, but I'm wondering if we would band together, not even as a whole, because as a whole community, I don't think we would band together. We would break off into factions. We would break off into little groups of, well, like we already are, little cliques, stuff like that. After we eat all the pop culture people food, and the rest of us would break off into factions. So, do you think we would band together? My question is directly at you. If you think we would band together at some point.
at some point, eventually, But like you said, we have to do everything we can to survive ourselves first, But I mean, in a situation like that, man, like you kind of like, there is no promise of anything, because I mean, you could fucking run into another person, and you're trying to survive. Both of you are trying to survive. You don't know what that person's gonna do to you, man. Like,
that's why we see, and that's why I'm saying in the first place would, that's why I don't think most of society as a whole. You see all these anti-gun, or don't think the nuclear holocaust will ever happen kind of people. They'd probably all try to band together because they think there's power in numbers, but that's not true. All I see is a whole bunch of people like, oh, there's a whole bunch of people. They must have a whole bunch of resources. I'm going to go join their group, and yeah, I'm trustworthy until I'm not trustworthy anymore. That's with anything, though. Even that can go for anything. Like, what if I wanted to kill off the whole group because I decided that my only way to survive was to become a cannibal? So I was a scientist and knew how to put anthrax in water, and every time I found the water, I would poison one person's water, and that, like they just died of some microbe that got through, and it would just happen to be on them, kill them all off one by one and convince the others to eat them, and then, but who's to say I wouldn't do that? But who's to say I wouldn't even do that now? Like if I worked at the water factory or wherever, water plant or whatever it's called, if I worked there, I'm trustworthy until I'm not trustworthy anymore. What if my whole life goes to shit and I just poison all the water? Like, nobody thinks that would happen. You know what I mean? But it could. It could. What if the last guy, the last line of defense, the last team of people are all best friends, and one of them gets a divorce and the other one's kid dies in a drunken accident, and the other one gets shot in a robbery, and those three guys are the last line of defense to make sure our water's clean, and they're just like, I want to kill everybody and just throw a fucking some kind of microbe into the water and my bad and poison us all. I'm over here spitting, getting so
yeah, man.
I'm sorry about that. But
wow, dude.
But yeah, but who's to say I wouldn't do that in a nuclear holocaust situation? So I wouldn't trust somebody I didn't already know. But at the same token, some of the people might be crazy. So is it worth banding together?
I honestly, and if you are gonna get together with people, it has to be people that you trust. You know what I mean? And that you could but I mean, even then, dude, it has to stay a small group.
Yeah, but could you trust them at that point?
Well,
I mean, even if you've known me for years, a nuclear holocaust happens, I have a family. I'm not saying I would because we're not in that situation. I hope I wouldn't. I hope I wouldn't become that person. But who knows what happens when you get back into a corner? You trigger animal instincts at that point. We're no longer thinking with the higher brain. We're thinking with the reptilian brain at that point, which is survival of me and mine. So, I mean, you could probably trust like one other person, but there's no way you could get like, oh, hey, let's go pick up this guy and that guy and have a group 15 deep. That's just too many. It's just too many. Besides, how are you going to feed them all? How are you all going to stay alive? Because I'm not. This isn't even like zombie apocalypse. Zombie apocalypse, you'd have to band together because you'd have nowhere to go. I'm talking nuclear holocaust, nuclear apocalypse.
Yeah, dude. I mean that would be.
So I guess the basic question is, how trustworthy are people?
No, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, though, man. This is like, that's if there's even a possible chance of surviving through that. I mean, nuclear holocaust, dude.
All right. So, okay, nuclear holocaust. I guess you could argue the point that we all blew up. All right, dude. Chemical warfare holocaust and fucking. It's like the zombie apocalypse in a way. 2% of us or 10% of us or something like that are immune to the chemical that they put down, because they couldn't test it on everybody and everybody's different. But chemical warfare holocaust then, and it kills off all the other population. They don't turn into bloodthirsty zombies or nothing like that. That's not where I'm going with this. I don't think that'll happen. But if they do the chemical warfare, and it kills off the 10%, and then the 10% of us is left because we were immune to it for whatever reason. At that point, would you be able to trust these people? Would you be able to trust anyone?
Yeah, that's a really great question, man. Man, it's already so hard to trust people now.
I know, nothing's even happening. Nothing's even going on. You can't trust somebody. You're like, man, I had $10, and you snuck 5 out of my wallet when I thought you were my friend, dude. Come on. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck, dude? Was it worth it, dude? Was it worth it? Like, shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. That's one of those things, man. That's like, you gotta be there to fucking really know. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can't fucking. I mean, we could sit here and talk about this all day.
We could speculate on it all day.
But the thing is, man, like, that is one of those situations that not until you're there, you're really there, dude. And you know, like it's like that dream I had. I don't know if you mind me speaking of it, but you know, I had this dream one time, and you know, I was hanging out with some other dude. We were like cool friends or whatever, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, like in his backyard, like there's like all these trucks and shit in his backyard or whatever, and we see like some guy walking around there, like all like kind of lost and shit. And we go over there, we're like, hey, dude, like, you're not supposed to be here, dude. Like, what are you doing? And fucking just straight up attacks me, you know? Turns around, straight up attacks me. And I'm on the floor, and he's, like, trying to, like, kind of chomp at my face. And I'm just not, you know, I'm not letting it happen. And my friend in that dream, or whoever he was or whatever, he came over with, like, a shovel and hit him and shit, you know? And we somehow like fucking beat him up, or I don't remember how we killed him in my dream, or I don't know what the fuck. Anyways, so we started noticing that a lot of people were like starting to go crazy nuts like that, you know. And anyways, the whole point of it though is that when I woke up, man, I had realized, I was like, you know what, dude, I'm not ready. Like, you know what I mean? I fucking realized, you know what I mean?
Like, that aren't even close to ready for anything to happen like that.
You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, like, holy shit! In my dream, it just caught me off by surprise, dude. Like, here I am. Like, I thought this was like you know,
just a regular day.
Yeah, just another person. Like, this person's lost. He's drunk or something. Next thing you know, he's attacking me, trying to eat my face. You know what I mean? It's like, holy shit, dude. And, like, you're not gonna fucking, like, see blood all over these motherfuckers or whatever, dude. Like, you wouldn't be able to. You know what I mean? If something like that was to happen. I don't know, dude. It's one of those things, man. It's like, fuck, dude. Like, how prepared can we be?
I mean, you could always, yeah, but you can't be totally prepared unless you're totally paranoid forever and then you're crippled.
Yeah.
But I mean, nobody would be ready for it. So in nobody being ready for it, I mean, I have the small enough game plan. But like you said, you can't speak on it till you know. But yeah. So I think we've reached the conclusion that if the nuclear holocaust does happen, or chemical warfare holocaust, or for those of you that think it'll happen, the zombie holocaust, are we ready? Are we ready for the apocalypse? Is anybody ready for the apocalypse? And what would you do if it was time for the apocalypse? I think that's a good question. And anybody that wants to leave their feedback, I'd like to hear your questions. Like to hear your opinions. I'd like to hear everything you got to say about us. So let us know, because fuck your opinion of me anyway. Yeah.
Fuck it all, anyways.
That's what everybody wants anyway.